Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel T-Spot. In this video, since we received the bad news about Yellowstone, today is a happy day. We'd like to take a moment to express how much we care about Season 5 of the show, particularly the most recent episode, Yellowstone, before getting into what will happen to it in the coming months. Season 5 got off to a very promising start because it picked up a few months after the conclusion of Season 4, when John Dutton was elected governor of Montana. We had no idea that John Dutton, our old-school rancher with a strict lifestyle, would enter politics and become governor after years of watching this show. Yet here we are, watching John struggle to find a balance between his previous way of life and learning about state politics. It also appeared that Jamie, who had been slammed under the bus by his father and sister during this political race, would be content with John's victory for a brief moment. He participated in his campaign and thoroughly enjoyed election night with him. He warned him about John's radical actions, but he never spoke up when John told him to do so. He even said that he was angry with John for not giving him the governorship he deserved. So for a few episodes, the Duttons appeared to be a normal, healthy, and functioning family, with the exception of Beth's persistent bullying of Jamie. But then Sarah, the new head of market equities, showed up in Jamie's life and set off some of his emotions. We have to admit that we got tired of watching a weak Jamie blindly following every manipulative person's instructions during those episodes, which made us kind of bored. At that point, even his banter with Beth began to disappoint because Beth always seemed too strong, and up until the episode from last week, we had no reason to believe that Jamie would have any chance against her. Numerous significant developments occurred in episode 8. In point of fact, simply referring to these developments as important would not be sufficient. They were crucial to the development of Yellowstone's plot. First, Jamie carried out the strategy he and Sarah had devised. He demanded that the Senate impeach John for his crimes against Montana and canceled the deal with market equities, which would have hurt tourism. Then Beth rushed to Jamie's house to frighten him into sharing photos of him carrying his father, who had passed away. Jamie regained his power at that point by demonstrating that he is significantly smarter than any one of us gives him credit for. This was an event that none of us had anticipated taking place. He claims that she cannot release those images because she would also expose her father, John, if she exposed Jamie. How? Well, it seems like Jamie buried Garrett's body in their traditional family cemetery or in the spot where they've buried their enemies for a century. With this new information, we can finally say that Jamie and the other Duttons are having a fair fight, and we can't wait to see it. Unfortunately, however, figuring out what will happen next in Yellowstone might take a long time. You are aware that the 5th season of Yellowstone will be distributed in 2 parts for the first time in show's history. In that regard, Taylor Sheridan appears to be following Netflix's lead. We will proceed to the second part after making the initial assumption that the break will occur between Christmas and New Year's Eve. However, it has been revealed that despite the fact that Christmas week will have a break, it will not be the official long break that we had anticipated. Instead, this show will run for one more episode on New Year's Eve, which will be the final episode of Part 1. After that, we won't know how long we will have to wait for Part 2. Yes, that is what you heard. Part 2 of the season has not yet been officially announced for release. In point of fact, Summer Higgins' character, Piper Perabo, claims that they have not even begun filming Part 2. Is it possible? We absolutely cannot. This indicates that the release of new episodes might take several months. In other words, we anticipate the release of Part 2 of Yellowstone Season 5 in the summer of 2023. However, what are our expectations for the second part? As previously stated, the show finally has a fair fight, which will be entertaining to watch, but also indicates that it will be more violent than ever. It is significant that we observe Jamie and Beth plotting their own deaths. We would simply view those scenes as a ruse if this were any other show. However, since we are familiar with Yellowstone, we are aware of the high stakes and the character's propensity for various crimes. We are aware that John normally cares for Jamie and would not permit something like this to occur. He doesn't live with Jamie as much as his biological children do, but he still cares enough about him to tell Beth he doesn't want him to die. He is the one who raised him, after all. Nonetheless, Jamie's betrayal was too significant to ignore, and John has no reason to defend Jamie this time. As a result, we anticipate that Beth's plans to harm Jamie will receive complete independence and freedom from John. That is to say, we will witness Beth at her most powerful, which is unsettling even to contemplate. When it comes to Jamie, we think he will play it safe and hire the most reputable individuals to handle his dirty work. Naturally, he cannot replace Sarah's assistance, and he will cherish her for it. We should also keep in mind that Monica and Kayce will eventually return to the Yellowstone ranch, which indicates that they will also play a role in this fight. We do not yet know whether Kayce will be able to take action against Jamie. Regarding Rip, we anticipate that when he returns to the 4-6's ranch, he will find himself in the midst of fire, despite living a relatively peaceful life there for the time being. Having said that, we must also mention that we anticipate seeing Beth and Rip in the 4-6's series, which will probably be released in spring 2023. As a result, the couple won't be missed as much until the release of Part 2 of Yellowstone Season 5. What are your thoughts on the first episode of Yellowstone Season 5? Jamie or Beth, for whom are you rooting? Do you believe John would commit suicide? Kayce, how about you? On whose side will he stand? Please share your thoughts in the section below. Additionally, don't forget to share and like the video. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you soon.